Hi there and welcome back. I have had a request, well I've had several requests actually for a video on being zero waste when you have dogs. So it's well overdue and I thought it's about time I did that. So I'm going to share with you the things that I do to try and be a bit more zero waste with the dogs. I'm not totally zero waste in any aspect of my life, and I'm not zero waste with the dogs, but this is how I have come to a compromise with them. When I started my zero waste journey about 18 months ago, I was a bit obsessed and I tried to go zero waste in every area and looked around for dog food to be delivered in paper sacks. I was unable to find any, well I could, but they were small sort of 1.5 kilogram sacks or maybe 3 kilogram sacks. These were sometimes paper, which obviously could be composted or recycled, better recycled than plastic. But we have always bought our dog food in large 17.5 kilogram sacks, and they were only available in plastic. We continue to do that, and several reasons. Firstly is that when it is delivered, it just is delivered to our door as a sack. There's no additional packaging with it, just the sack that it comes in. Secondly, if the shops did sell bulk dog food, so I could go in with my canvas produce bags and fill them up, then they would just be providing it from one of these sacks anyway. I'm fairly convinced of that, because the products have to be delivered to the store somehow, and they will be delivered to the shop in a plastic sack. Our shops don't offer that anyway, like I said, but I'm sure that it's no different to going and buying it from the shop and putting it into my own bags than it is to having that large bag delivered to the house. So we keep the large bag, we then empty it into a bin in the shed. We keep it in a bin just to keep mice out, and the plastic sack that it's provided in goes into recycling. That's about the only rubbish that we do really produce with the dogs, other than dog poo bags, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. When it comes to buying dog treats, our pet shop, and not just our pet shop, others as well, provide what they call doggy or pet pick and mix. And that you tend to go in, get your pick and mix and put it in the plastic bag, and they'll weigh it and you bring it home. So I do what I would do in our health food shop, which is basically put it into a cloth bag. I use this one. This used to be one that I used for produce, but when I washed them one day, this one got left behind in the washing machine, and as you can see, it developed a few mould spots, which didn't wash out, and I didn't fancy using it for rice or flour or whatever. So I just used a Sharpie to write dog food on it, and now I use it for our doggy treats. When I get home, I transfer them into this tin, which came with dog treats in that they got for Christmas one year, and I just keep refilling it. So the dog treats that are in there, just look like this. We've got some that look like a chop, and this one looks like a rabbit, poor little rabbit. So yeah, we just have, it's a pick and mix, so you can get lots of different varieties, and I just get a bag full, and to fill this tub up costs me roughly £2. And that's how I go about that. I don't buy from the supermarket, dog treats that come in a plastic package. So dog mess, when they mess on the garden or on the path, the law in the UK, well in England and Wales, the law states that a dog owner has a responsibility to pick up any mess that is done in a public area. Now there are public areas that are an exception to this law, and that is woodlands. Feel that my camera is falling. Woodland areas, marshland, agricultural land, that sort of thing, that sort of area are exempt. And we walk our dogs in woodland. Now when we're walking the dogs in the wood, if they should happen to do a mess on the footpath, which obviously is just a dirt path, but if they were to mess on there, I would just take a stick and flick it to the side so that the next person coming along is not likely to tread in it, because that's never nice. Obviously between our house and, oh dear, my camera is not right. Between our house and the woods, in order to get there, we do have to walk on some public footpaths, and the law states that I have to have a plastic bag in my pocket or something that I could pick up that mess with and take it away with me. So the bags that I use for that purpose are from a company called Earth Rated. These bags are made from corn, and This company are very eco-conscious, so all their packaging is recycled and recyclable. Any bags they make that might be defective, you know, that sort of don't make it onto the shelves because they're whatever reason. I mean, for example, this is pretty nicely printed. If that printed picture was not in the middle, it would be a reject. But the rejected bags are donated to animal shelters. They're not put in the bin, is the main thing. And any sort of offcuts, you know, bits of bags that are perhaps left on the factory floor are all then recycled and reused. So they try to produce very little waste. They have a website which I would suggest you go onto. You need to click the little tab at the top, the one that looks like 3 lines, and then it gives you an option that says about. And if you go on the bit that says about, it will tell you all about them and explain to you how they are earth friendly. So, and they smell nice. So I use those bags, and I have a little container that they came in. I buy them from TK Maxx, and I have never had to fill this up, mainly because we very rarely need to pick up dog mess because, as I said, we walk them in the woods and they go in the woods. But it's refillable, you know, you can screw the bottom off and you can buy the bags to refill it. And then this just clips onto your belt or put it in your pocket or clip it onto your dog lead. It's not essential though. So those are the bags that I use. Biodegradable, compostable as well. And yeah, available from TK Maxx. It's an American company, so I'm pretty sure you can, obviously, we'll be able to buy those in the States as well. If the dogs mess on the garden, again, I use these and just go around and pick it up. And I don't tend to pick up every time they poop. We don't use the garden. The kids don't play in the garden, so I don't have to worry about mess on the garden. And we don't use it very often, but if we're entertaining, you know, if we have people around or we want to sit out in the garden, I'll go around and pick up, obviously. But I do tend to leave it a couple of days so that I'm only using one bag, but I'm putting several poops into the bag rather than just the one poop per bag. Another option that you could try, might suit you, is you can make yourself a dog toilet. Now basically what you need in order to do this is you need some kind of bucket or bin that has a lid. You would drill holes into the bucket or bin. Probably a plastic one is best because of the fact that they just don't rot away. You drill holes into the bucket or bin and then you bury it into the ground. You dig a hole, you bury it in. So that it's flush with the ground, and when you pick up your dog mess, you lift the lid, put the dog mess in, and it will rot away into the soil beneath your garden. This could be quite smelly, which is why we have chosen not to do it here. We live on a housing estate, and you can probably see here there are several houses around us, so I wouldn't want the neighbours to have to put up with the smell. I don't know how smelly it would be being underground with a lid on, but we haven't tried that. I think if we lived, if we had a garden that was sort of a long garden, so it could go right at the bottom of the garden away from our house, and we didn't have neighbours around that area, so it wasn't going to affect them, then it might be something I would try, because I'd far rather not put them into the landfill at all. But that's that might be something that you can try. So that's really all I can recommend when it comes to having pets and trying to go zero waste. If you're the sort of person who has a pet that has lots of toys, I would suggest you try charity shops and buy second-hand soft toys, because the dogs just rip them apart anyway, don't they? They just chew them up, take the stuffing out. Make sure they never have those little beans in, like Beanie Babies, because they're dangerous for your dogs. But the stuffing, they just love picking the stuffing out, which we throw away. That's not very environmentally friendly at all. But if you want to give your dog toys to chew on and stuffing to pull out, look for the charity shops. I would also suggest that once the stuffing's come out, you just let them have the toy. There's no more stuffing, you know, don't keep buying more with more stuffing. Another thing you can do is put squeakers inside the toy and sew it up. And so again, I would just use second-hand toys from the charity shop rather than buying new, because you've got no packaging, and always buying second-hand is always better. But my dogs don't really need too many toys. They play with each other. Max, the puppy, well, I say he's a puppy, he's 4, he's a bit of a baby and he likes to have a soft toy to suck on. So he does have some, but again, they come from the charity shop, and we get him new ones every now and again. And he sits and sucks on them, but he doesn't pull the stuffing out, so that's good. That's about it. I hope it's been helpful to you, and I'm sorry it's 10 minutes long. I've actually made this video several times, and every time it's been over 10 minutes. I've not been able to shorten it. Do leave comments if you've got any suggestions, if there's anything I've missed, if you've got any more questions. Please leave it in the comments box for me, and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.